Her Majesty, 95, celebrates her Platinum Jubilee next year and, with 70 years as monarch under her belt, she sticks to traditional protocol. But Grant Harrold, who served as butler to the Queen, the Prince of Wales, and the Duke of Cambridge, believes much change is ahead. He noted that, traditionally with royals, it was that rule for everybody where royals looked but didn't touch. Mr. Harrold has since observed younger members of the royal family, including Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who stepped back from royal duties in early 2020, don't quite follow the same rules as Her Majesty. He identifies displays of affection and interactions with the public as two examples. Mr. Harrold told Express.co.uk, "We're seeing change, which has to happen, and it has to change in order to survive." He added, "Historically, so many of the royal marriages obviously didn't work out, so it's a bit reassuring for us when we see the younger royals and their partners being so obviously in love, and that they really are in love and are best friends. I think that's also important as we know that it is working, and that they will be united when they lead us." The royal etiquette expert has looked at traditions upheld by Her Majesty, including the minimal public displays of affection carried out with late husband Prince Philip, who died in April aged 99. Mr. Harrold said, "The Queen and Prince Philip didn't really show affection, but there have been occasions over the years where you see him give her a kiss on the cheek, or sometimes you see them sit really close to one another, especially in recent years. Those are the things that royals never did previously. I don't think I've ever seen the Queen at an event where she has given a child a hug. It's just not what was done. With the modern royals, they are more like that. They have to be, whereas the Queen gets away with it because Shush is the Queen and Shush has always been like that." He added, "I think if they, referring to the younger royals, revert back and become more like what has worked beautifully for the Queen, it's not going to work for them as they're in a very different world today, as compared to then. If they were then seen to be standoffish or not forthcoming, I think it would change people's opinions of them. A lot of people want to see the royals just doing things traditionally, but a lot of people, including me, want to know that they're a modern family and that they do things in a modern way." Mr. Harrold referred to a recent incident where the Duke and Duchess of Sussex arrived on stage in New York to give a speech on Global Citizen Live, holding hands, noting it as behavior that isn't atypical of the royal family. He said, "This isn't something you wouldn't have seen with the Queen and Philip. The Queen always famously walked a few steps in front, and also with William and Kate, the same kind of thing. You would have seen William was just a few steps in front." However, he pointed out how the future king and his wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, have adapted their behavior as of late, and appear to be showing more affection in public settings. Mr. Harrold said, "I've noticed in recent times, I don't know if I've seen them holding hands the same way when they walk to events, but I have seen them being a lot closer to each other. You see them sitting down, and then you see one of them might hold a hand or share a joke, and those kind of things. Seems a silly thing to point out, but they just didn't happen in their grandparents' time. They didn't do those things, and if they did it wasn't really documented." Following Mr. Harrold's comments, the couple were witnessed holding hands at the highly anticipated James Bond No Time to Die premiere in recent days, a moment perceived as breaking traditional royal protocol by some. The former royal butler notes how the Duke and Duchesses are often witnessed interacting with royal fans in ways we've not seen from Her Majesty, which he refers to as a big thing, when it comes to defying the norm. He said, "It was the same with the public where if you met a royal, you would never dream of offering a handshake. Now, how often do you hear of William, Kate, Harry, Meghan and someone comes up and says, 'Can I give you a hug?' And normally you just see them give a hug back depending on the situation and where they are, but especially if it's kids. That's quite a big thing, if you think about it." He added, "It'll be interesting to see, when the Queen has gone especially, how much they stick to those rules, and if they're going to make it a royal family that is modern with more examples of public display of affections, and how they'll interact with people. I've even seen Charles do a high five with a kid, and never did I think I'd see that. When asked whether public displays of affection and a new modern approach from the royals will be the norm, he said the change in their actions should be encouraged and celebrated, but noted these actions can divide royal fans. He said, "Situations like these are very dividing, and shows that people do like to see the modern approach to the monarchy, but there are people who don't. For them, they look at how the Queen has done things during her reign and they think, well, she hasn't done anything wrong. Has not done that, so they shouldn't." While that's true, they're forgetting that this is a lady that was born in the 1920s, and was Queen in the 1950s, which is such a different time with different rules and regulations. It was a different world, the time of her grandparents and great-grandparents, and everyone respects and admires her so much, and nobody questions it because we just think that's the Queen's way of doing things, that's what she does, and that's part of the wonderful aura around her, which audiences tend to love. She can get away with it, but the younger royals can't because they are modern and young and there's expectations to accompany that.